All right, before we jump into this awesome 5 knives, me and Jared get real deep, especially towards the end. I'm excited for you guys to check it out. I realized going through all the footage that we didn't talk about the very first time me and Jared ever really hung out or did any work together. And it was on a fun little video years ago when I was at Blade HQ called A Knife Before Christmas. It was like a little clever play on A Night Before Christmas with a bunch of knife references. And it felt like such a shame that we didn't mention it in the video that I had to let you guys know right out of the gate to go check it out. I wrote most of it, not all of it. It was a team effort, and Jared lent his great humor and his sultry voice, and it's just a lot of fun. It's a bit of knife lore that I feel like a lot of people don't know about. So now you know. So after this video, go check it out. It's just a lot of fun. Along with that, for things to check out, as you know, I've been working with Boker the last little while and been crazy busy. That's why things have been a little slow here on this channel. And we have an official Boker whatnot that I'm on often, selling all sorts of seconds knives. So when I first started at Boker, I found boxes and boxes. Guys, we're talking like hundreds, if not thousands, literally thousands of knives sitting in boxes. And they were vintage knives, they were prototypes, they were one-offs, they were old stuff you can't get anymore, like unique designs, and also like some modern production stuff. And I was like, what's the story with all these knives? Like, I felt like Indiana Jones, like they belong in a museum, but they belong in the hands of knife enthusiasts. And it turns out that they were seconds. So they exactly that. They were just knives that Boker couldn't sell as brand new, and they didn't know what to do with them. So I set up a whatnot, and we've been over there hanging out, playing around, and just chatting knives and selling some cool stuff. So you can get great deals on knives. We do giveaways, we do dollar buys, and then of course just unique stuff coming across the table all the time. It's literally a surprise every time that I'm doing it, because our guy Steven puts a lot of them together, and every single time that I do a whatnot, I'm like, dang, I wish I would have known about that one. So come check us out over at Whatnot. I've got a link down in the description. I've got a link somewhere here on the screen, and that will give you $15 to spend however you want, wherever you want on Whatnot, which is kind of cool. And even if you don't want to spend money, just come hang out. It's a great time. I'm over there pretty regularly. We do them Friday afternoons, Saturday mornings, kind of like a Saturday morning cartoon show. And yeah, I hope you guys come check that out and enjoy it. And I really hope you guys enjoy this 5 knives. How's it going, guys? And welcome to 5 Knives. We're at the end of the whirlwind tour that I've been on. The last few videos you guys have seen, I actually shot like day after day, just kind of hopping around states in the Western United States. It's been a great time. And now I'm back in my home state of Utah, and I'm sitting down with Jared Oeser. Thanks for the time, dude.
Yeah, you
Super
bet.
excited to
Excited.
dive in. Yeah. You guys might know Jared. I mean, he's been making knives for 14 years. He, has redefined, or helped define maybe, the modern traditional category of knives, along with many other things. You might know him from his native. You might know him from the Tengu or the Tachi. We're going to get into all of those. And like I said, dude, welcome.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Welcome to my shop.
Yeah, dude, this is actually really cool. I've never been to your shop before. So
I know.
It's exciting to see what you're cooking with.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's good stuff. It's good stuff. So I sent you over a list of knives.
Yes.
And we've been chit-chatting as we set up, as we do. You know what I mean?
Right.
Luckily, we didn't get too deep, which is always good, because that way we can
we
record
can do
the
it
deep
here.
stuff.
Right. Yep.
And dude, let's just kick it off. Let's first knife. And when I sent it over, I was like, first knife, interpret this however you want. Right?
Yes. Yeah.
Because as a maker, right, a first knife could be the first knife you made, or the first knife your dad gave you, or right.
Yeah.
Like,
and I thought about that. I thought about that too. So the first knife that I picked, it was the first knife that I got as a gift as a kid.
Okay, cool.
It was a fixed blade Schrade old timer.
Oh yeah, okay.
In the little leather sheath with the sharpening stone on the front of it. You know what I'm talking about?
It's got to have the like the white stitching probably.
Yeah. The white stitching, and there's like this little rectangle pocket on the front, for the stone. It's not the first knife I ever had.
Okay.
But the reason I picked that one is it was the first knife that I had that I kept, and then it was the first knife that I experimented with making knives on.
Oh, okay, cool. All right. Yeah. So it was the first keeper. Because I'm the same.
Yeah.
I probably had at least a dozen knives before I finally have one that was left after losing them all the time. You know what I mean?
Right, yeah.
But then the first knife that you actually, so what was, like, was it a handle? Did you modify the blade? Like, what was the thing?
So when I first started tinkering with knives, I started dealing with handles. So I did the handle on that.
Yeah, okay, cool.
Probably one of the biggest influences on me on fixed blades that I really enjoyed was Andy Roy over at Fiddleback Forge.
Oh yeah.
And one of the big things with him is his handle geometry.
Oh yeah.
So I worked that handle geometry on this old timer.
Yeah.
So I shaped the handle on it, and I got it to where I liked it. I really liked it a lot. It was nice because normally they're kind of square, like it's flat with doubles,
exactly. Yeah.
whatever. So I made it all nice and comfortable in your hand. And then, so it was the first for that.
Yeah.
Then it was the first one that I actually took to the grinder.
Okay.
And I'm like, let's see what happens if I try and grind this bevel.
Yeah.
And so I did, and I was like, oh, I think I can do this.
That's awesome. No, like on a proper like blade grinder or like a bench grinder?
It was a little one. It was like a 1x42 grinder.
Still real good.
But I was like,
grinder.
let's see what happens with this. And you know, and I did it, and it looked better than it did before, and I was able to thin out the edge and stuff. And I was like, oh, I think I can do this.
You're like, this knife thing.
Yeah, I think I can do this.
Okay, so you've been making for 14 years, but about when were you experimenting with this?
It was probably about 2009 when I first started.
Okay, so a couple years even before your first.
Like experimenting with things and sharpening and stuff like that.
Yeah. That's awesome. And when did you get the knife the first time? Like when did you receive it?
So that knife I think I got when I was about 9 or 10.
Okay.
So it would have been about 85-ish, 86 around there somewhere.
Yeah. Right on.
So I'd had it for a while. It was just laying around. I'm like, oh, this is the only one that I've got laying around that I can experiment on. Let's go.
I love it. Now, we had talked before, and you had mentioned you couldn't find it. Do you think you still have it? I would like. I know you moved a couple times.
I know I don't have
stuff.
it because I think that my experimentation went a little too far.
Yeah.
So I pretty much destroyed it.
Right.
But I tried to find pictures of something like it. I mean, there's one kind of like it if you search out Schrade old timer, whatever. It's kind of got that similar kind of handle, but it's a different blade shape. Mine was like the typical, straight handle, clip blade.
Yep. Yeah. It kind of being like a buck 120-ish look.
Yeah,
maybe.
it was like a fixed blade, buck 120 sort of type of thing.
Yeah.
And I haven't been able to find even pictures of it because it's so old. But that gives you an idea of what it is. I mean.
Yeah. I mean, especially if knives happened before the internet.
Yeah.
And they weren't really big knives. It's hard to find images of knives.
It's really
like
hard.
Doing this, right? Like where I'm trying to show visuals. It's like, oh, some of these knives there aren't pictures of them. Like they just weren't important enough for people to put them on the internet.
I was trying to see if maybe I had a picture of it somewhere, but it was kind of like pre-iPhone for me.
Oh yeah.
So it's like, I just don't. I've got archives on my iPhone from way back, but not that far back.
Not that far. Yeah. That's awesome. Well, and I mean, in 2009 when you were playing around with it, you may not even have thought to take a picture of that, right?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I guess the handle, that took some work, so maybe that, right? But the grinding, you were probably just like, oh, it works. And then you're like, oh, I went too far.
Yeah. Pretty much. I'm pretty sure I tossed it and that was the end.
Yeah, I mean, and that's the thing is it's a common thing whenever I talk to like makers or engineers is like you have to make mistakes, right? To really get a first. Oh, yeah. There has to be, there has to be a couple failures to get to the real first, right?
Yeah. So that was the one I picked. I mean, I actually have, I think somewhere in my basement, I have the first knife I ever made.
Oh, cool. Okay. That's actually a big deal too.
Yeah.
That's great.
And I thought about that, but this was the one I was like, that's going to be the first.
I love it. So, I mean, okay, so you're 8, 9, 10, right in that range, right? Yeah. I assume you did scouts. Is that a safe assumption?
I did
scouts, I did scouts as well.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, was this the everything knife? Was this like, were you trying to wear it to school? Were you like, what was the like?
Yeah.
Because a fixed blade at that age, like, I don't think I got my first fixed blade. I was probably about the same age, I guess. But I just remember my first fixed blade being even better for some reason than my first folder. You know, like it just felt like I can do anything.
Yeah, it was legit. Yeah. And because I had a lot of folders before that, right? Like little slip joints and things.
Yeah.
My grandpa always carried them, and he'd like give me one or whatever.
Yeah.
But that one was, that was cool. For me, for a little kid, it was big.
Yeah.
It was probably, maybe 4.5-inch handle, maybe about the same on the blade.
Dude, yeah.
So, decent sized knife.
Yeah. That's a mini sword at that age.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you're pretty tall, so maybe it was like, I don't know when the growth spurt.
When I was 10, I looked like I was 16, but
exactly. That's awesome.
But yeah, it was a good knife. It was the one for a long. Yeah. That's why I had it for so long.
Yeah, that totally makes sense.
For years and years.
Yeah. And so, I mean, so 2009 rolls around and you're like, oh, I want to like play around with knives. Like, what was the inspiration for that? What made you even be like, I want to modify the handle on this?
The first catalyst was I wanted to find a survival knife, right?
Oh, okay.
I wanted to find the knife.
Right. Yeah.
And so I searched around and I found some, and I bought a bunch and was looking around, and it just never quite met what I wanted.
Right.
So that's when I was like, well, can I make this one more like what I want?
Cool. Yeah.
And that's where it began.
Yeah. So I mean, are you going through like, is this like you're going through blade forums? Are you going through knife magazines? Like, what's the? Yeah. Because blade forums is such a wealth of knowledge.
Yeah. It was blade forums that shot everything for me.
Yeah.
And I just started, I started searching things online. Then I went to blade forums and find out like what's the toughest knife. And kind of my what would it be? Dirty little secret, I guess.
Yeah.
Is I was a massive collector of bussy knives.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
Like
yeah.
I had a ton.
Oh, okay.
I had a ton of like really special knives, and they're amazing.
Yeah.
And I think that what drew me to them, because they're advertised as being indestructible, right?
Yeah, exactly.
But I really loved the design of them too. Like there was
Yeah.
really good design work there. There was an artist's eye
Yeah.
on that.
Yeah.
And I still feel that way. He's got a really good eye for design.
Yeah.
And it made it amazing, but it wasn't quite what I wanted for
Gotcha.
me.
That makes sense. So you're just like, okay, if I can't buy it, I'm going to build it.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah, that's
Well,
really.
And buildings, you got a background in building, right? Like, I mean,
do.
before you started this whole crazy thing, right? You
Yeah.
were like contractor. Is that the official title you would have used?
I was a builder developer.
Builder developer. Okay.
So
Yeah,
I developed subdivisions and build them out.
Yeah.
As I finished out, I did mostly like townhome and condo subdivisions.
Yeah. Yeah.
We'd build out communities and
Cool.
sell them.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I think you're right. I think that gave me a little bit more, when most people look at a house, they're like, oh, how could I ever build a house? But I'd done it, so I understood, oh, okay, there are steps to do this, and a normal human can do this.
Yep.
And I thought, well, if that's the case, then a normal person can build a knife too.
Yeah,
It can't be
right.
that different.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I think it gave me maybe the courage to go for it.
I like that. I like that a lot. And that's what I found in my own life, and like talking again with other makers, right? Is there are there like really curious as kids, like taking stuff apart and need to know how stuff works, right?
Yeah.
Or they had some experience that like got them involved in the physical world, where they're like, oh, like if I can do this thing, I can do that thing,
Right.
I remember I was actually doing a remodel on a house in Pleasant Grove, and we were living in a tiny home behind the house we were remodeling, and there was a guy that we went to church with, and he invited us over for dinner. And so we go to his house, and they had this big, beautiful garden in the backyard. And like the house was kind of weird. It felt like, like in the 80s, like in 80s movies, what's Goonies? The guy that does all the inventions in Goonies?
Right.
You can imagine like what his house might have looked like as an adult, right? Like kind of just, not like completely off, but some weird stuff here or there,
weird
right?
things going on.
So and I noticed this, and I was like, oh, this is really interesting. He had a son with special needs that was kind of older, and like had to have like hooked up to machines and stuff.
Oh, right.
And I was like, yeah, what's the deal here? And he's like, yeah, no, I've got it. Like everything's on solar here. And this is like before, like solar was. He did this DIY, right? Everything's on solar. This, and like all these weird switches and stuff that work different things.
Oh, wow.
And he's just like, his whole philosophy in life is just like, yeah, like, I mean, if like a human can build it, that means I can build it.
Right.
And I was like, oh, dude, I like.
Right.
Like, and I'd always been a maker, but that one thing, for whatever reason, like, and it was shortly after that I rebuilt my first automatic transmission.
Oh, yeah.
Because I was like, dude, some guy built this. Like, if some guy built this, I can build it.
Right.
So it's been a mantra of mine as well, right?
Yeah.
So yeah.
I think that's one of the things the internet has given us.
Yeah.
When my dryer breaks, I don't call up the appliance guy. I go to YouTube.
Exactly.
I'm like, hey, I can do this.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Yeah, being generally handy, right? And knowing like how the physical world operates, right? And then some instruction, and you're like, I got this.
I got this.
I love it. So I love that. Yeah, I mean, at least potentially, right? Like having this experience of building and everything, you were like, oh yeah, like this is way less complicated than a wiring diagram or like architectural drawings or whatever, right?
Yeah, right.
In ways, but then there's also like the hand touch to it.
Yeah.
And like that's something that, especially with the work that you do, I feel like is so exceptional. Is a lot of these hand touches you put into things.
Right.
Yeah. Which
the way I look at it is, I like guns. I like to shoot.
Yeah.
And a lot of instructors will say, aim small, hit small.
Yep.
And that's the way I see it in knives, especially with folders. Like a lot of people are like, oh, how do you make these little knives with big hands? It's just aim small, hit small. It's the tiny details.
Yeah.
And when you're looking at the tiny details, then when the overall picture comes together, it looks amazing.
I love that. And that makes a lot of sense. Like with, like we've been able to talk before, obviously, and some of the work that you've shown me in person, and like when you walk me through it, right? And I can remember, like I can't remember the specifics, but I just remember the impression of like, man, there's so much aiming small here.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. For sure.
It's one like maybe like planting the trees for the forest instead of missing the forest for the trees.
Right.
That makes
There you
sense.
go. Yeah.
That's a new saying. Pick it up. It's
Yeah,
a good
there you
one.
go. Put a little trademark on that one.
Yeah. I got a copyright on that. Don't steal it. Planting the trees to make the forest.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, I mean, this opens up a perfect opportunity for the second knife that we have on the list, and because the whole reason that you made your first knife, or I'd call that making it, right? You modified that knife, like that was making a knife, right? In a way, right?
Yeah.
Was to find the perfect survival knife, right?
Yes.
So when you saw Apocalypse Knife on the list,
Yeah.
where did your mind go? Because now I'm just so interested in what you chose. If
So,
that's, you know what I mean?
in my mind, when I was looking for this, I thought the knife that Rambo carried, right? Like
Of course.
some
Yeah,
massive,
yeah.
oh, I can do anything with it.
Yeah.
I'm going to stab the zombies with it. I'm going to cut trees down.
Exactly.
And as I progressed through, that's kind of what Bussy makes. They make Apocalypse knives. Like, they are indestructible, massive, thick chunks of steel.
Yeah, exactly.
And I really loved them. But then when it came to the practical use of it, I realized, at least in my scenario for where I live and what I wanted to do, it didn't accomplish that. And so then I started evolving into the bushcraft world. Yeah. And that's where it came to, that is my survival knife.
Cool.
A bushcraft knife.
Yeah.
About a 4.5 to 4.5 ratio, fixed blade, comfortable handle, and I've got some examples.
I was gonna say, yeah. What example do you have?
I'm gonna show you. I don't have very many knives that are not my own.
Yeah, I mean, that's not a bad thing.
But this first one is actually a knife that I did in collaboration with Andy over at Fiddleback.
Oh,
so this is one of his knives.
Okay,
and I'm pretty sure that this is the one he calls his Bushcrafter.
Okay, yeah.
I think that's the name of it.
Yeah.
So essentially, that's the size. 4.5 inch blade, or maybe 4.5 inch handle, super comfy. The reason it works great for me is because once I started seeing that, I started trying out, like I did with scouts. I did outdoor stuff and whatever.
Yeah, you do some like can you make a fire with a single match, or like that type of thing, right? Yeah.
Then I started getting into the bushcraft world and like, I can make a shelter. I can start a fire from scratch. Like all these things that you can do, and all you've got is a knife. Yeah. And I realized that I don't need a big, huge, apocalypse knife. This will do the job. Yeah. And so that's, for me, that's the best survival knife.
I love it.
It's a bushcraft knife.
Yeah. Well, and I love, right, because this is a common topic when we get to this knife is there's so many different types of apocalypses, right? Like sci-fi ones and biblical ones and whatever, right? Like there's all sorts of apocalypses, right? And what I love about this choice is that, to me, this is like, you're like, I'm disappearing. Like nobody's gonna see me, and I'm gonna go live in the woods, and I'm gonna do my thing, right? Like, because you're not thinking like self-defense or like against alien invaders or whatever, right? It's like no, I'm gone. Like you'll never see me again.
See, one of my guilty pleasures, in fact, I'm watching one of the series right now, is The Walking Dead.
Oh, okay.
Like I watched the whole Walking Dead series, the main one.
Yeah.
And now I've branched off into the Fear the Walking Dead series.
Okay, the expansion of it, right?
One of the expansion. I found out there are multiple. So this
hilarious.
may be a never-ending journey.
Yeah.
But I will never be the guy I'll be the guy that's like out in that cabin by himself, just like, I'm good.
I love it.
Just leave me alone. I'll be happy. I even drive around sometimes when there's bad traffic, and I'll tell my wife, just imagine how great it would be if it was The Walking Dead right now. There'd be nobody on this road, and we could just drive.
Just drive.
Like, do whatever we want. We can just go into a store and just grab whatever's left. Like, it'll be all good. Like, there's no stress anymore.
I love it. Just the stress of zombies.
Yeah, just zombies. I can deal with zombies.
I've never watched The Walking Dead. I'm not a big zombie guy myself. So are they fast zombies? Are they slow zombies? Dude, are they smart?
So the thing with I don't know if some people take The Walking Dead seriously, but I don't. It's like a joke to me. Like we'll joke. Yeah. Because all the time they're like noisy and loud, like making this weird breathing noise and whatever. But except for when the guys aren't paying attention, then they're like stealth zombies. But then when the guys are trying to not get they're getting away, but they can't go fast, and the zombies are really slow and they're like dragging their feet and stuff. Yeah. But then when they're fast, like the zombies are like sprinting. You're like, there's no rhyme or reason to how these zombies function.
Okay, so the zombies are just a plot device.
They are just a plot device.
And they do whatever the plot needs.
They do whatever the director's like, hey, you're gonna run fast this time. Go.
I love it.
It's ridiculous, and it makes no sense, and it'll just never happen. But I think what appeals to me about the show is just that, just the fact that like all the stuff that we worry about in life, all the stress of like, I gotta pay my bills, I gotta go do this for that or whatever, all these things that we make ourselves busy about is gone.
Cool.
And I think for me, that's what.
Just entertainment.
Just the entertainment, and I can just kind of, daydream that maybe I can be in a world where I don't have to worry about anything but zombies.
I love it. So far with these, I've only talked to men, right?
Yeah.
And every time it's this like, man, wouldn't it just be nice to just be in a cave and like you don't have to worry. Like, I feel like we need to find a way to build this into society
We got it,
somehow.
man.
You know, like.
Just develop some type of virus that turns everybody into zombies, and then we'll get immunity to it, and we'll be good.
I was thinking more like we just have like planned sabbaticals. Like every 5 years, you get 3 years off in a cave. You know what I mean?
Hey, I think we can take some notes from like the ancient Jews.
Okay.
They would do that.
That's true. That's true.
Right?
Yeah.
Every 50th year
Yep.
was a year of forgiveness of everything.
Yep.
Of debts, of wrongdoings, of everything.
Yep.
We should do that.
That'd be
I
cool.
like that.
I'm into that.
Yeah,
I'm super into that.
for sure. I'll rack my debt up on year 49.
Yeah,
and then we'll just clear it at 50.
That's the problem. People are so good at gaming the system now. Like,
they totally will. Oh,
That's
there's no
amazing.
way around it.
So you went from big survival knives into maybe a more practical tool for your needs, right? And like that's a big thing that I'm always preaching, right? Like figure out what you need and use it for that,
And even when I was thinking about this, I was like, okay, for me where I live in my environment here, that's great.
Yep.
I spent 2 years living in Brazil, and for a minute I almost said this.
Yeah.
A machete, right?
Yeah.
A big old bad knife. Because that's what they need there.
Yep.
A bushcraft knife might be okay.
Yep.
But they're clearing brush all the time. The stuff they got to do is with this.
Yep.
So I almost did this. I even had it here. Like I was like, oh, which one do I do? Maybe? So I think in the end, that survival knife is whatever fits your environment to allow you to prosper.
Right. Yeah.
The most.
Yeah. Like I grew up in Nevada desert, right?
Right.
So like a big chopper like the machete,
Oh, waste of time.
not super useful. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I know that like in the Sonora Desert, like in Mexico, they use machetes a lot for I don't know what, but I know there's machetes down there.
Right.
But I'm like, I don't know how to do that, so I would have a different type of knife in
Right.
that environment. But
Yep.
yeah, like you said, if you're in the jungles of Brazil, machete's the way to go.
Yeah.
All right, so you kicked off the journey like collecting these big, awesome like pry bar knives, right? And you're like, okay, that's not quite what I'm in for. And so you go bushcraft. Did collecting the bushcraft knives also move into collecting skills around bushcraft?
Yeah, I did.
Cool.
I went on to like, I think it's Bushcraft USA, their forum.
Yeah.
Put together like a survival kit, had all the goodies in it, like a little tiny one, right? That I could stick in my pocket.
Yeah.
Went out in the backwoods, survived the night, made my own little shelter, did all this stuff. So it was really fun. And
That's cool.
It was good to learn, to know how to do that.
Yeah.
I'm probably a little rusty now on my fire starting skills,
Yeah.
but
It seems like that's the most
it's somewhere
important.
back in there.
Yeah, it's the most important. It's always the
Yeah.
first to go. Like if you're not constantly practicing it,
Yeah, and especially hard.
Yeah.
We're lucky we live in a dry place, so it's a lot easier. In those wet places, forget it. I'd probably be toast.
Oh yeah, no, I spent some time camping up in the Pacific Northwest.
Right.
And it's a whole nother ballgame.
it's-
Because here you can
yeah.
just walk around, gather everything, and just start
Yeah.
a stupid fire, right?
Yeah.
But like you have to try where there's actually water.
Exactly. You got to work at it.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah.
Did you ever learn how to make a bow drill fire?
I never did a bow drill.
Yeah, see,
I did not do a bow drill.
That's one that I wish I stayed more in practice with. I could probably make a bow drill fire, but it would probably, once I've made the tools, it would probably take me like 30 minutes to 40 minutes to start a bow drill fire.
Right.
Because it's that rhythm, right?
Yeah.
Getting the rhythm right.
Yep.
But if you ever get the chance, you should learn. It's
Yeah,
it's
I
pretty
do.
fun.
I do want to do it.
Yeah, it's pretty fun.
For sure.
Yeah. So I mean, does that spark like? Do you ever still like find yourself like dreaming about bushcrafting or like wanting to go do it?
Yeah.
Or, yeah.
Because I love doing that type of thing.
Yeah.
I've learned more about myself being a knife maker.
Okay. Yeah.
So I've learned that I am actually an introvert.
Yeah.
But an introvert doesn't mean that you're someone that just when I used to think of introvert, it was like someone that's like antisocial, that can't handle social situations.
Yeah.
But an introvert is actually more someone that can handle social situations well.
Yeah.
But in small, spurts of
There's
time.
a social battery. Right?
Yes.
Yeah.
My social battery runs out very fast. Well,
Right.
not really fast. So like, I'd go to a show and I'd come home and I was done. I would literally get actually sick.
Oh wow. Okay.
Like my body would just break down.
Yeah. Because
My
your body's
wife-
like, I'm gonna make you rest.
Yeah. My wife was like, I hate you going to these shows. You always come home and you're sick. I'm like, I'd be like sanitizer, washing my hands, like thinking that I was actually getting sick from the show.
Yeah.
But it was actually just my social battery was done. It was empty.
Wow.
It was done.
Yeah.
So I enjoy the shows a lot.
Yeah.
I love going there. The only reason I go is to talk to people that come to my table. That's it.
Yeah.
I mean, I can sell knives online, whatever.
Right.
But I would rather go there and talk to people. But when it's done, it's done. So doing this for a job, sitting in the shop by myself, is okay for me. And so is kicking it in the outback somewhere, bushcrafting, surviving by myself. I'm good with that. I love to backpack and camp.
Yeah.
I'm fine. You know, if it's just me and my wife for days, we're good.
Yeah. That's awesome. That's awesome. Well, and it is such an interesting mix. I mean, having your own business, but also specifically like when you're making knives, right? Like, and especially when it's like you don't own a knife company, you own a knife brand, right? Like,
right.
And so it's like, yeah, you're in the shop and you get all of that alone time. Do you find that you get wrapped into the process a lot, where you just kind of live in the process, or do you find that it's meditative, where while you're working, your brain's like working on other things as well? If that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The processes that I go through to make a knife have become so automatic in a way.
Yeah.
That unless I'm really pushing myself on some new technique or new design or something that's tricky, I can just almost go into autopilot. I don't want that to sound bad, because
no. I mean,
I don't. But I can listen to a podcast, or I'll be thinking about how I'm going to design this next one or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that's any job, right? Like,
right.
I mean, you could be a nuclear physicist, right? Or whatever, right? Like,
Right.
it doesn't matter what the job is. There is a level of that, like, especially when you get good at something, right?
Right.
There's a level of like, you can lock into a pattern and still be able to do, I mean, even down to like a craftsman level work, right?
Yeah.
In that pattern, right? And
right.
moving through it. And it's almost, moving through it is almost, is part of the process, right? Like,
right.
like having that blank mind is part of the process, right? Yeah.
And I've found that I think that there's a level that you can take that, though.
Yeah.
I think that there have been times in the past where I pushed that maybe too far.
Okay, yeah.
And then it allows things to slip.
Yeah, okay. Yeah,
Not a lot, but enough. And then I just have to put myself back in check and say, okay, I'm going to refocus and make sure that I am focused at the right times.
Yeah.
But on sometimes I can just let it go.
Yeah.
And run on autopilot, focus on other things.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. Checks and balances with everything, right?
Right.
I mean, that's an interesting question in general. Like, you've got so many unique designs, right? And so many like beautiful designs as well, right? And this, again, the blend of modern and traditional, right? Like that whole thing, right?
Right.
How are you coming up with the work that you're doing when you're talking about design work, right? Like, what's your process usually? Are you like see a color, you see a shape, you see an old knife in a catalog, like what's the?
It can be anything.
Cool.
I mean, inspiration for knives have come from a lot of different places. Sometimes it'll be someone says, hey, this knife's really cool. Like the most recent, I guess, new model that I had is one that's inspired by a Jess Horn design.
Okay, yeah.
And someone said, I'd love to see your take on this. And so I did, and I changed the lock mechanism, and it was really fun.
Yeah.
Other times, we talked about the Tengu. I remember when that happened. I just had a friend of mine that said, look, you need to make a slip joint with a Tonto blade. And I'm like, well, that's weird. No one's done that. How am I going to do that? And so I designed it. And I think that was the second knife I ever designed, of my own design.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah.
And it worked.
Yeah.
And then people liked it. And I was like, okay. And it just, that's all it started with. Make one with a Tonto blade.
Yeah.
So it could be anything. I've had knives where I just kind of had the idea in my head of what I wanted to do. Others it took years. I remember years ago I was talking with Mike at Diamond, and he wanted me to design like this really cool, like modern tactical style knife that could be fancy.
Yeah.
And I tried for years and years to put something together, and nothing clicked. And then I finally came up with one, and ironically, he doesn't have one.
Right.
But it came together, and I was really happy with it. And when it did come together, it was like within a day, and I just drew it on paper. And I usually put all my stuff in AutoCAD so that I can check the functionality, and then it transfers well over to CAD/CAM programs and things.
Yeah.
And literally, I take a photo of the hand sketch that I do, and then I'll trace it, and then I'll make adjustments as needed to make functionality work.
Cool. Yeah.
I just traced it in AutoCAD, and it was perfect. I didn't have to change a thing.
Cool.
So sometimes that will happen. Sometimes it's just constant tweaks. I've had other knives where I've actually made a bunch of them.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, I'm still not quite happy with this. So then I've changed those something else. I've gone through one knife that has 4 revisions, and I'm finally happy with it as it is.
Yeah.
So it really varies a lot.
Yeah.
Between knives.
Yeah. No, I love that, and I mean that's again when it's what you do for work, right? It's like something that's probably always there. So whenever you're doing something, right, it's pulling inspiration from all these different areas. Yeah. I know for some guys it's like, oh, I get my inspiration from nature, or like specifics,
right,
and so I love to hear that.
Oh, for me it could be anything.
Yeah, that more
it
like
could be
broad.
like I see the headlight on a car and I'm like, oh, that might be a cool pivot on a knife, or whatever. It comes from wherever.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's way awesome. All right, so walking from a survival knife as a tool, right? That brings us to the next category, which is multi-tool.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of interested to hear your philosophy around multi-tools in general.
Yeah.
So what did you choose for this category?
So the multi-tool I chose, and it was kind of a toss-up between the two.
Yeah.
But it was a multitasker.
Okay.
It's a kind of obscure brand. Like everybody thinks of Leatherman or Gerber or whatever.
Yeah. The name is ringing a bell, but I'm not getting a picture.
It is an AR-15 specific multi-tool.
Oh, okay.
The only time I've ever pulled out a multi-tool for myself is when I'm on a gun range.
Oh, that's hilarious. Okay.
So that's the one I chose.
Yeah. I love it.
I think the specific one that I have in my bag, which I ironically forgot to grab.
Right.
So.
And we'll flash a picture up here.
Yeah, I can show you a picture later, but I think it's the Multitasker 3.
Okay.
And it has like the castle nut wrench, and it's got all the specific tools, like a scraper tool and things that if I needed to do something on the range on my AR, I can just pull it off my belt and go.
I love that.
So that's honestly the only multi-tool that I really use. I've got plenty of.
I'm sure you get your Leathermans and Gerbers.
Yeah, I've got like Leathermans laying all over the place.
Yeah.
They just sit in a drawer, and I don't ever pull them out. Right. That's the only one I use, so that's why I had to pick that one.
No, and that's perfect. That's exactly perfect. Yeah, because I know you like to go to the range quite a bit, right? Like you're a pretty avid shooter, and so it makes sense, right? A tool like that. Gerber made one for a while.
Yeah, I have one of those too.
That sandwich one. I like it. I've used it plenty, right? Like on some of the builds that I've done. But it's like a little weird to put back together. I don't even know if they still make it anymore.
I don't think they do.
But I did enjoy it. It was a good little tool. So I'm interested now to see this. We'll check it out afterwards because I'm interested now to see this.
I'll grab that. I forgot. It's actually on my. So I have like a gun belt. It's in a pouch on the belt.
Perfect.
Yeah.
So I think that's really interesting. So in your day to day in the shop, obviously you have the tools that you need. And those are the tools that you're going to use, right? Yeah. So having a multi-tool on you in the shop for what you're doing doesn't really make a lot of sense.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense.
What about when you were working in the construction world and you obviously weren't necessarily working construction at the end, especially, right?
Right.
You were overseeing everything, but did you find that you go around maybe test checks, whatever? Did you ever find you had a multi-tool on your hip for that or not really?
No, I didn't.
Yeah.
The biggest thing I used in construction was like a utility blade.
Yeah, exactly.
The old DeWalt or whatever, Stanley, the sliding
that
thing.
gray Stanley one that you could fit 5 blades in the handle. I love that one. Yeah. I bought a bunch of them. I love those things.
That's terrible to say as a knife maker, but that's what we used all the time.
Yeah.
And everybody had one. And if your blade was dull, you'd go to the framer, hey, you got one? I need one.
Exactly. Dude, here's the thing is in the construction world, there's no reason to use anything other than a utility blade.
Because it's just going to get trashed.
Yeah, it's just going to get trashed. If you're really working during the day, there's no way your knife's going to stay sharp cutting through drywall all day. You know what I mean? Utility blades all day.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't know. Are you familiar with the Milwaukee 1505? Are you familiar with this? Milwaukee makes a couple utility knives.
That folds?
It folds. It's a button lock. It holds an extra blade, and it's got a screwdriver, an extended full screwdriver locking arm. It is awesome. Yeah. It's super awesome. Yeah.
See, in here I actually use, with superlative, we make what's called the Nomad.
Right, yeah.
And it's a little tiny, it holds those blades. So I use those blades in my shop all the time. Cool. I don't use knives. Nice knives.
Yeah. Well, and again, with the precision work that you're doing, right, it makes sense with a thinner blade. Or do you find that you're just using for any cutting task, really?
Just for anything.
Cool.
Yeah, for everything.
Yeah. I love it. I mean, so that brings up an interesting question. So, I mean, you probably have a knife in your pocket most days, every day?
I do.
Yeah. And is it
ironically
just
though, like here in the shop, I usually don't.
Yeah.
So like when I leave here and I have to run somewhere or do something,
Yeah.
I won't like go and grab one and stick it in my pocket. So a lot of times I'll be like out and about, like taking the mail or something, and I don't have a knife.
Right.
And then not every time, but more often than not, I'll run into someone that knows me.
Yeah.
They know what I do.
Yeah.
Like, oh, what knife you got on you now? I'm like, nothing. I just came from my shop.
I love that.
It's terrible.
You're like, yeah, I don't have one in my pocket at the shop.
Yeah. I mean, I'll usually have one in my car or something like that.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. That's hilarious. I love that. So talk to me a little, I mean, obviously, so there's the Oeser brand, right? So talk to me a little bit about superlative. Like, what's the story? I mean, I know a little bit of the story, but I don't know if the audience knows much of. Tell me a little bit about the superlative.
Yeah, superlative has been a lot of fun.
Yeah.
So years ago, Enrique Pena and I have been friends forever. He started making knives a few years before I did, and so we've always talked as we've kind of come up and been making things and whatever. And it came to the point where I hadn't done any production stuff, and he's done a lot of production stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what he's known for.
Yeah, exactly.
In a lot
He does
of ways.
incredible work. Yeah.
And so he introduced me to David at Re8, and he said, I want to get you in and doing this. And I wasn't sure if I was ready to do that for myself at the time. And I said, I'd just come off of working with Benchmade. In fact, I think even at the time I was talking to him, I was working with Benchmade, and so I was under contract. I couldn't do anything else.
Yeah, because I know Benchmade's got pretty exclusive contracts.
Yeah, it was very exclusive, so I couldn't do any work with anyone else, even with my name on it that was production.
Right.
So once that ended, I got with him and I said, hey, rather than you helping me get started on doing my own production, what if we do something together? We'd done collaborations in the past, and it was a lot of fun, and it was successful. And so I was like, well, what if we did this together? What if we started something up? And I kind of followed, I think that right before that, Jesper and Jim from Giant Mouse had been here. And since then, Jens has been here a couple of times.
Yep.
And I was like, what if we did something kind of like that? I mean, they're killing it. What if we tried something like that? It'd be kind of fun. Even if we don't, completely blow it up.
Yeah.
It could just be like a nice, fun side thing. Mm-hmm. And so I talked to him. We both had a mutual friend, Javi Garcia.
Yep.
And I'd talked to him enough at that point that I knew that he was just a creative mind that I could relate with and work well together. I mean, he and I since then have become super great friends.
Cool.
And so the three of us just kind of do it, and it's like a no pressure. We've each got our own brands that have kind of their own style, but we've just let loose on superlative. Like it's just like whatever we want. There's no rules, and who cares?
Yeah.
If somebody doesn't like it or nobody likes it, I don't care. Who cares?
Right.
If it doesn't make money, if it makes money, it doesn't matter. It's just fun. It's just been fun to like put something out there so different from everyone else that is way outside the box and super good quality. And that was kind of our goal, and it's just been fun.
Well, and it sounds like an opportunity to flex the creative muscle a bit, maybe.
Yeah, for
right?
sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
Because like you get known for something, and so then you're like, do you feel that sometimes? Not pressure, but like expectation of like, okay, well, I've seen his other work, and so do you? When you're creating something, you're like, does it look like an Oeser? Do you think that, or not so much?
One of the reasons I wanted to do it is because I am just doing this all by myself all the time.
Yeah.
And I wanted some outside input.
Cool.
And it's been pretty amazing. Our first knife, the Cannibal, was kind of based off of I mostly put it together, threw it at them. They did some tweaks on it, and we went with it.
Cool.
And then there have been other knives where like Javi has put it all together, and then he sends it to us, and we're like, oh, how about a little tweak here, a little tweak there, and it's done.
Cool.
There have also been ones where like Enrique started with the design, and then Javi went and tweaked it big time, and then I went and tweaked it even more big time, and it doesn't even almost recognizable from what it started out as, but it all comes together, and we've just developed this brand language that's been just having that outside input and influence on design has just been eye-opening for me.
That's awesome.
As a knife maker and designer.
Yeah. I mean, and that's such a big thing. I mean, whether it's you can go to like the start of like Benchmade and Chris Reeve Knives, and like because it was around the same time period, right? I feel like those guys were working together a lot at that level, right?
Right.
And it seems like the same thing at like
at kind of the, I mean, what's the word? Cottage level of knife making, right? Not to make it sound silly or little, right? Because what you do is serious and it does the thing. But at this level, it feels like so many makers work together similarly, even if it's just skill trade, right? Where it's just like, oh yeah, like I'm making knives, you're making knives. What are you doing about this thing, or what type of tooling do you use here, or whatever, you know? Yeah. And like that's something that I love about the knife industry is that exchange, right? Yeah.
It's not always there. I mean,
it's definitely not always there, but it's common, right?
Yeah, it is common. And for me, when I go to ask someone something and they share it, I'm like, okay, I can get along with you. When someone says, no, that's my proprietary secret, I'm just like, whatever.
Like, all right.
Because for me, if anybody asks me anything that I do, I'm an open book.
Cool. Yeah.
I feel like there's a level of security there. If you're secure in what your skills are and your abilities are as a maker, then sharing how you blacken screws or whatever is whatever.
Yeah.
Let everybody do it.
Yeah, that doesn't make or break the sauce.
Yeah,
right?
It's not gonna. Yeah, the realization I had on that was one time I was at a table. I was at Tony Bose's table at Blade Show in Atlanta.
Yeah.
And this guy, like a super collector, came in, and he brought this big glass display case of a whole bunch of knives.
Okay.
It was a pattern that Tony had made called the Lanny's clip.
Okay. Oh yeah.
And there were like, I don't know, 20 to 30 knives in this display case.
Yeah.
Unbelievable, from all different makers.
Yeah.
And when I saw that case, I was like, oh, it was like this epiphany that said, oh, you know what? I can make a knife, and I can help someone else know how to make that knife, and it won't affect my ability to sell my knife. In fact, it might even magnify it.
Yeah.
Because now someone else is making it and spreading the word.
Yep.
So it changed my whole perspective on all of that. And just, I think Tony, like, he's one of my mentors, and he was a big example of that, of just being so generous.
Yep. That's what I've heard. I don't have any direct experience, but I've heard the same thing about it. Yeah.
I would talk to him and ask him anything. He'd pull a knife. I remember one time he had an auction knife that was like for a big charity auction in a case all sealed up. He pulled it out and he's like showing me. He's like, oh yeah, like, so this is how I did that and that and that. Yeah. I'm like, okay. Like, he was willing to do anything.
Cool.
And I think that's the way I try to live. If anybody, even the most obscure person, asks me, I'll try and answer it.
Cool.
Yeah. I love people that are open books, that are willing to share what they do and cooperate and work together. I think it just makes it all better. It makes the community better.
Yeah, it really does. It really does. Well, then it opens up opportunities like this, where like some of the friendship and sharing and getting to know each other turn into a business opportunity, right? Where it's and a creative outlet for all of you, it sounds like, where you all get like this fun creative input from guys that are in a similar place. And we got all the way there from Multitools.
We did. We don't make a multi-tool.
No multi-tool yet, right?
I don't know if I'd ever do that. I've seen how they make those multi-tools. That's a lot.
It's complicated. It
is complicated.
Yeah, I asked. I was recently just at Lucas Burnley's house, and I asked Burnley about it. And he has a little pry. Burnley brand has a little pry that they make, and he carries it on his keys. He does use it a lot.
Right.
But he actually pulled out a notebook. He's like, this is my multi-tool. The notebook and a pen. And I was like, okay, fair, dude.
Yeah, I like that.
Because he's like, like, this is how I split it up, and this is how I organize my journals. And I was like, oh, okay, like that's a multi-tool,
Yeah.
And it sounds like your process starts physical. Does it start physical most of the time, where you like sketch it out physically and then scan it in?
Yeah. Usually I'll sketch it out on paper and scan it in and go from there.
Do you have like a special like notebook, or is it
just whatever paper.
What you got? I love it.
Whatever. See, I'm not a good journaler. I'm not a good writer. I'm like the opposite of Luke.
Right.
Like, I don't keep track of anything. I've got like papers scattered all over. Like, oh, there's a drawing I did. Like, oh, okay, I remember that one.
Yeah.
No, I am not organized that way. I'm organized in other ways.
Yeah, of course.
That is not my forte.
I mean, you got a clean shop. Like this looks like it's very like there are stations for very specific tasks.
Right.
Like there is a level of organization.
Yeah,
here.
I'm organized in that way.
Yeah.
for writing and journaling and like bookkeeping, like all that stuff.
Yep.
No, I'm out.
You're like, no, that's not it. I love it.
I learned as a builder, my whole life as a kid, I started as an artist, like a little teeny kid. I got like crazy drawings that I'd do as a little kid.
Cool.
I've always done art, and then when I got married, my father-in-law was a real estate broker, and so he wanted to team up with me. He knew that I was a contractor, and he wanted to work together.
Yep.
And I did that for a long time, and then when I started doing this, I started feeling something different again. And then when I switched to full time, my stress level went from like through the roof and just dropped.
Awesome.
And I realized that I needed that creative outlet.
Yeah.
I'm a creative person by nature. I'm not saying like Luke isn't like.
No, yeah, he totally is.
But like for me, I've learned a lot about myself through this process.
Yeah.
And I lean more to the creativity part more than to the organizational part.
Yep.
And I try really hard. Like I was a builder for a long time, and so I know how to organize things, so I do my best. But But my mind will go woo a lot. And
just chase something new.
Yeah, I don't keep journals very well or document things well, or I'm terrible at that. I can't even run my own Instagram, or my Facebook page is like a disaster. I'm terrible at that stuff.
Well, dude, I mean, and really at the end of the day, like so much of that side of doing business, it doesn't matter what business you're in, so much of that social media side of doing business, it's its own job.
Oh yeah.
Like it's a constant, it's just this beast you have to always feed.
Yeah.
And like if you're not willing every day to get on and do something, it's like you're not going to grow. Nobody's going to see you, Yeah. And that's if the algorithms are in your favor to begin with.
Right. That's the trick.
Yeah, I understand that.
What always cracks me up is when people reach out to me and they're like, "Oh, you're so good. Like, what do you do on social media? Like, how do you do it?" I'm like, dude, all I'm doing is slacking. Like, I'm not doing anything. Like, I remember occasionally, like, oh, I should probably post a picture or something.
Yeah.
People might want to see something.
Process. I should do
still
this.
signs of life. Yeah. That's terrible.
So, as you've like made knives and gotten to know yourself better, right? Have you noticed that come out in your designs at all? Right? I know that you're pulling inspiration from all over, but have you noticed that kind of underlying reality like come out in the designs?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
And I've noticed it specifically in the last few years.
Yeah.
I went through, I think it's been about 2 to 3 years ago, 2 years ago.
Yeah.
And I just took, let me push even further back than that. Maybe about 5 or 6 years ago, I was just cranking out designs, just boom, boom, boom. I had like 1 year that I put out 20 new designs.
Yeah.
And I almost couldn't even keep track. And it sounds terrible. It was almost like that old saying of throwing mud on the wall and seeing what sticks.
Mm-hmm. No, it's
and I just had all this stuff out there, and then I kind of just let it sit. And then a couple of years ago, I decided, okay, now it's time to like reassess where I'm at. So I just took designs. I'm like, you know what? I kind of like that design. It's out. This design, I want to change this. I'm going to change it. And I just did. Yeah. And I didn't, there's no whatever.
Yeah.
And now I've kind of just trimmed things down to like, okay, these are the knives that I feel like I could make for the rest of my life.
Cool. Okay.
And these reflect me. And like when people take a picture of a knife, a lot of times I'll just comment like, this to me represents me as a knife maker, this picture right here. And just, I've really refined that design style and aesthetic to what I like, and then hopefully other people like it. And now as I introduce new designs, it's almost easier because it kind of goes in that vein.
Cool. Okay. Yeah. So you found a little bit of maybe a little bit of design language, right?
Yeah.
That doesn't just translate to what the audience expects, but translates to what you're also looking to get out of it.
Yeah. Okay. It's kind of like what I feel like in me that I'm trying to get out.
Yeah.
And it's like at the beginning of my knife making career, I was just trying to get all this stuff out. Right. And it didn't all make sense yet.
Yeah.
And then as I learned more about myself, I was able to say, okay, no, this right here reflects me. This one, maybe not so much. So we're going to let that go.
Cool. Yeah.
And I was able to really just like trim it down to like, this is what I'm trying to convey from the inside. Yeah.
I really like the imagery of that, like taking something out of yourself and putting it into an object, right?
Yeah.
It was another chat I recently had, and we talked about knives as like talismans, right? Or sitting down with Ben, we talked about them like journals, right?
Yeah.
But that is very true, and it's not just knives; it's creativity in general, right? When you're creating something, right? I mean, it could be something boring, right? Like you could be wiring an electrical panel, right? Like which is just that's your job and you're doing your thing, right?
Yep.
But there really is something about creating something and putting a piece of yourself in it.
Yeah,
right?
for sure.
Yeah. And I think that's something that's really important about creative work and something that I like about doing YouTube and telling stories, right? But I think also in our industry and even people who are just buying knives, not even making knives, like so many people love to just tweak with their knives too because it's like creating. Right? Yeah. It's like, oh, I'll get a new pair of scales for this one, or I'll polish the bearings on that one, or whatever it is.
Right.
Yeah. I think it's an itch that as humans we need to scratch often.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. Because otherwise you're just, I mean, what are you doing if you're not creating? You just consuming. That's probably the opposite of create, right?
Probably, yeah, consuming. Then
just walking through the world like a giant Pac-Man, like that's not a way to live, you know?
Yeah, I think the other word for that is leech, right?
Leech. I like that. Yeah. I mean, you can't create everything. Obviously, it takes a village, but that process, right?
Yeah.
And I think that's really cool. I would say probably a lot of makers find a little bit, at least in their process, but it's really cool to hear how like intimately connected your process is to that, right? Yeah, I think that's really neat.
Yeah. It's an interesting thing too, and I think that sometimes collectors or customers will get it. Because every once in a while I'll have someone reach out to me. And oftentimes these people, when they are reaching out, it's in a difficult situation.
Oh, okay.
They bought a knife and now they're in a tough situation and they need to liquidate funds like right away, right?
Yeah.
So they'll reach out to me and say, hey, I have this thing that came up, I got to sell your knife.
Yeah.
And my response is like, do it.
Yeah, sell it.
Sell it for max profits. Like, what up?
Exactly.
Like, if it can help you, great.
Yeah.
Like, I don't care max profits for me, whatever. Like, I want you, if it's going to help you, then sell that sucker.
Yep.
Do it. Yep. I mean, I can make you another one another time.
Yeah, exactly.
Whatever.
You can pick up another one when the situation's better, right? Yeah.
But it's interesting to me to see those people that do that because it tells me that they see that connection.
Yeah.
They see that I made something that I care about, and even though I gave it to them for money, I gave it to them.
Yeah.
And they have custodial care over this knife, this creation.
Yeah.
Right? And they care for it. And so they're going back to that item's creator and saying, is it okay if I do this?
That's cool. When
And
it's
so
there,
kind
like
of
they don't have to ask your permission. But
yeah. And usually I'll say, hey, I mean, it's your knife, you bought it, you can do whatever you want with it. Whatever you want to do with it, you can do with it.
Yeah.
But it's just that bit of respect and acknowledgement that I think is really cool.
That is really cool.
Yeah.
Well, and it shows that not only in the visuals of what you're doing, but then when somebody holds it in their hand, right? Like not everybody, of course, is going to pick up on that, but people are picking up on, right, what you've invested, like into it, other than just tool and material, right? Yeah. I like that. That's really cool. That's really cool. And I think that's a great way to jump into most important knife. And I'm interested to see how you categorize this one because this is always this is always an interesting one of like, what's the most important knife? Like, is it, And so let's take a look at that.
So I'm going to harken back to what I said about going to the range.
Yeah.
And I was talking to a guy who was one of the instructors that I was learning from, and we were trying to ask him what the most important gun to have is.
Okay. Yeah.
And what he said was, it's the one you have on you.
I love it.
So that's my answer.
I love it.
There is no most important knife. It's just the one that you've got.
The one that you got. Yeah.
I had a friend, my brother-in-law the other day was asking me, because he knows I'm into guns and stuff. He's like, what should I get for a good carry gun?
Yeah.
And I'm like, giving him a recommendation, what I like, what I have.
Yeah.
He's like, well, right now I just have a little 22 Ruger. Yeah. I'm like, well,
you got it.
I mean, just at least carry that. Like,
Yep.
Is it going to defend you as well as a 9? Maybe not, but you got it. Like, it's better than nothing.
Yeah.
And so to me, when I read that question, I was like, it's the one in your pocket.
I love that.
Whatever it is.
Yep.
Whether that's a Swiss Army knife, whether it's a fixed blade on your hip, whatever it is that you've got on you, that's the most important.
That's the most important. I love it.
Yeah.
All right. So the most important knife is the knife that you have on you, which that's the case with tools, right? Like what tool do you have? What's the job? If you have a limited set of tools, you're going to figure out how to get a job done if you really need to get it done, right?
Right.
I mean, sometimes things are impossible for the most part, right? So now here comes the point of no return. What's the knife you have on you?
I do have a knife.
Oh, you have a knife on you. Okay, perfect.
I do have a knife.
Because we're in the shop, so I didn't know.
Yeah. No, I'm actually so I figured I better dress a little better than I dressed in the shop.
There you go.
For this, so the one that I've got it's actually got some goo and gunk on it, so you can see I use it.
A little bit of love on it.
I don't even know what that is. It's like tape or I don't know what that is.
Oh, that's okay.
But I've got this is
more beautiful.
This is a Matador. Oh yeah, it's got like all kinds of. I don't know what. So I'll have to clean it up. A Matador, one of the superlative knives.
Cool. Yeah.
It's nice for me because it's kind of a bigger knife and comfortable for me.
Yeah.
So that's the one I've got.
The Matador is the most important knife.
Today.
I love it.
Today.
I mean, like, growing up in Scouts, working in construction, right? Because you don't just start as a builder, right? Like, I'm sure you had to cut your teeth, maybe framing or what? Where did you kind of like?
I grew up with that. My dad was a contractor as a kid, so he did remodels. So I did everything.
Everything, yeah. That's what I love about remodels is you have to learn how to do everything to do a remodel right. Yeah.
And in my opinion, to be a good general contractor, you need to know how to do everything.
Yeah, agreed.
This may sound terrible, but if you don't know how to do the person's job who's subcontracting for you better than they do, then they'll pull the wool over your eyes and you'll be
toast.
They
will. Yeah. Or at minimum, know the process and the general time things take. Right?
I mean, there's specifics that obviously, if you're a master electrician, you go to years of training to figure it all out.
Yeah,
but
of course. But it's
you've got to know.
Yeah, how long does it take to pull a line through the house? And this is the square footage of the house. You got to know that. And it's good to know it with some intimate experience, because then if there's an excuse, right? Yeah. And they're like, well, we couldn't because this, and this. You can know, like, is that a real excuse or is it an excuse?
Especially when you go over there and you grab the freaking auger and you're like, no, it's like this. Yeah. And you're like, I want the hole right here.
Exactly.
When you grab it and you do their job for them for a minute, they're like, oh, well, it's not just blowing smoke. He actually knows how to do it.
Exactly. Yeah.
So
yeah, exactly.
For sure.
I've had superintendents who in concrete specifically, so superintendent, like it's the big guy, and I've had superintendents where like we're getting close to a deadline or whatever, tying rebar, and they'll throw on,
and they'll get to work.
line tying bag and they'll come out and tie, and you're like, oh, okay. You know what I mean? Like I've never had a problem with the superintendent, but like I think that it does a lot to show people like, oh, he knows what he's talking about in a real level. Yeah, exactly. For sure. So, I mean, in that swath of time when you're talking about the most important knife is the knife on you, was there a consistent type of knife or a consistent knife that you were carrying before you really dove into the knife world, right? Because you probably carried a knife most of your life, right? I mean, the fixed blade's a big deal, obviously all through scouts, right? Did you grow up in Utah as well?
I did grow up in Utah.
Okay, so you grew up in Utah, so especially then, pretty common, everybody was carrying knives then, you know what I mean?
Yep.
So so like was there any one that you gravitated to, or was there one that you carried more than others that you can remember?
Before I really got into collecting knives and searching for that ultimate survival knife, right? It was kind of off and on. Okay, I'd carry a folder. A lot of times it would just be like a little slip joint, like a little. I remember my grandpa had like a little 3-blade, little tiny peanut Stockman, whatever.
Yeah.
And sometimes I'd do that because I really looked up to him, or I'd have that fixed blade and I thought it was really cool, but I could never figure out how to sharpen it.
Right.
And
love that. It had a sharpening stone. What do you mean,
dude? I'm telling you. I think even today, I don't know if I could even sharpen that knife on that sharpening stone today with the skill set that I have now. So anybody that did that, you're amazing.
Fair.
Like I don't know.
Oh, I remember some of those fixed blades, right? Like just getting them from the gas stations or whatever. And I don't know if it was the grit on the stone or the steel or what, but you just could not get an edge on those damn things.
I think it's the steel. One of the things, living in Utah and having done, scouts was prevalent here.
Oh, yeah.
Not as much now, but I was always the guy that they came to do the knife training skills. So you could get your tote and chip, right?
Yep.
To be able to carry a knife at a scout camp.
Yep.
So I would do that here, and I'd say, okay, guys, bring the knife that you've got, because the most important knife is the knife you have.
Yeah.
So they would bring them, and some would have great knives. Some would have like a Spyderco or a Kershaw or something like legit. And then someone would have like some like multicolored Chinese knockoff, like whatever.
Skulls on it.
Yeah, like skulls and mermaids and like tie-dye and like
whatever.
And then I'd go to sharpen and I'd be like, oh, the core of this is copper. Like, what the freak is going on? I can't sharpen this.
That's hilarious.
Like legit, one of them, like the middle of it was just clad.
That's insane.
And it had copper in the not like the nice copper like I have in my blades. Like this is like some cheap piece of crap. Like what? How did this even sell?
That's
so
amazing.
Some of them, I think it's just some of them you cannot.
Yeah,
I have my nice equipment and I cannot sharpen some of those knives.
That's so funny.
I'll just tell them like this is as good as I can get it.
Sorry, that's as it's not going to shave anything. It'll cut, but it's not going to shave anything.
Maybe it won't even cut. I don't know.
That's so funny. And that, dude, I have never put any effort into sharpening that level of knife. Like never. I've just never like been like, oh, I'm going to take this $10 knife and try to get a good edge on it.
Yeah, right.
So that's such a funny experience that you're just like, oh, there's like some sort of slag inside.
Yeah, it was legit something like, wow.
That's amazing.
It was pretty impressive.
That's cool. So it sounds like, it was kind of a general, just whatever fit at the time.
Just whatever I had on me.
Yeah.
And everywhere I went, I would find something.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
I remember when I was in Brazil, the only thing I came home with as mementos were knives and machetes.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Was it mostly fixed blades, or did you pick up folders too?
Yeah, mostly fixed blades.
Mostly fixed blades. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. That's amazing.
It was an interesting thing because in Portuguese, and we'll see if, I don't know, you may have to edit this out.
Okay.
But I'm not actually going to swear.
Okay, good.
But when the words, knife is faca in Portuguese.
Oh, okay.
Right? So it sounds kind of close.
Yeah, a little close. Yeah.
And steel in Portuguese is aço. So
how do you say knife, steel in Portuguese?
A knife of steel is faca de aço.
That's hilarious.
Which sounds, if you say it fast enough, it sounds pretty terrible.
Yeah, no, it could be horrible. Yeah.
And I remember I have a knife that I had made in one of the cities where I lived, and they engraved that on it for me. And I still have it to this day. Just a little fixed blade, and like where I was at is kind of like the Gaucho area, like where the cowboys are, where they raise their cattle and they ride horses and they're all cowboys.
Yeah.
So this knife in it has a fork.
Oh,
as
that's
like
cool.
it's
Yeah.
like in an outside pocket of the sheath.
That's amazing. So it was like a range knife for the gauchos.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
It was awesome.
That.
Like
Gaucho,
it was their bushcraft knife or whatever.
That's
it was
so
awesome.
cool.
Yeah.
It's like they're because cowboys. So that'd be like they're like, I mean, not a Bowie knife, but like that idea, right? Of
Yeah, it was kind of like
cowboy
that. Like it had
knife,
had serration on the back.
Okay.
For whatever reason, and it was like a clip blade. It was a little bit bigger, and
Yeah.
you know,
Oh, that's
it
cool.
got the job done. It
That's
was
super
sweet.
cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it and what does it say on the blade again?
Faca de aço.
Never gonna get old. That's amazing. Yeah, that's the difference between Spanish and Portuguese always blows my mind. I feel like when I listen to Portuguese, I can pick out words pretty well.
Right.
But like that, neither of those words are even close
Are
to
even
anything
related.
in Spanish, right? Like
Yeah.
I wouldn't have. Like if you've been like, oh, guess what this, what is knife, right? Because in Spanish it's navaja, right?
Yeah.
Like so navaja, but like that's nothing close to falco.
Faco.
Yeah.
Faca.
Even just saying it feels wrong.
It does.
It's so funny.
Yeah, it's funny. It's like going from Portuguese to Spanish is easier than going from Spanish to Portuguese.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
Because it's also like the accent and it's really
Oh, yeah.
sing-songy and
Yeah.
really crazy pronunciations. Like
Yeah.
I remember just working with guys and they would try and get me to. There's certain things like for someone from Brazil, they can't say the word world. They can't get their mouth to do world.
Right. They just
And so
muscles not
you
there.
just try to get them to say that, and you just laugh because they just say it all. I mean, I try and get. So they have words like that for us.
Of course.
that are hard for us to
Say this in Portuguese, right?
Yeah.
And you're like, my mouth doesn't make those noises. That's
And
cool.
when I would hit it, when I get it right,
Yeah.
then they'd start laughing. Like, you
Right.
got it. Like, what the heck? But it's just like their language is so much more complicated, I think, in that way
No,
than
it is.
Spanish.
It really is.
As far as grammar and things like that, they're kind of the same.
Okay. Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
but it's just like the way it's spoken is really weird.
Yeah,
It's
I
really hard.
remember the first time I met somebody from Brazil, and we were talking about the language comparison, right?
Yeah.
And they were like, "I can't understand Mexicans at all," and I'm just like, I just was like, "You're being elitist. You're being." But then I found it's true. Like Portuguese to Spanish is different than Spanish to Portuguese. Yeah. I mean, we go from first knife being this. I like your first knife because your first knife is a first in many ways, right?
Yeah,
Like
right.
the first knife that you experiment with, and one of the first important knives in your life as well.
Yeah,
I love the full circle on that, right?
I think it was the first real gift knife that I got.
Yeah. I love that. And then like we're seeing a lot of fixed blades through this
Right.
lineage that you have going,
Right.
which brings us kind of that last question, which was like two fixed blades that kind of capture your feelings or your philosophy or whatever the exact verbiage was that I sent you on
Right.
fixed blades.
Right.
Because I have a theory that if somebody who knows about knives, right, can tell you about two fixed blades, you can like triangulate who that person is based on the two fixed blades they choose.
Okay.
So we're gonna see if it holds up here.
Yeah.
I feel like you might throw a wild card in here. I don't know why.
No, I think it'll be
I just
pretty
got this feeling.
straightforward.
So
I think it'll be straightforward. So
Yeah.
the first one that I've got is actually one that I have used the most of one that I've made.
Yeah.
And it's not really, it's kind of in the bushcraft style,
Yeah, definitely.
but it's sort of I almost say it's like a bird and trout knife.
Okay. Yeah.
So this knife has gutted many a fish.
Awesome. Yeah.
And it's just big enough that I can still hold it in my hand, but it's just small enough that it kind of just disappears on my belt.
Cool. Yeah.
And for me, as far as a fixed blade, I mean, in all honesty, I don't use a fixed blade a lot.
Yeah.
because of what I do, I mostly have a folder in my pocket.
Folder, yeah.
But when I'm going out, like, you know, I'm going fishing with my boys or going backpacking, whatever, this is with me.
Okay. So that's like that's kind of your go-to like fixed blade.
Yeah.
If you're just like, oh yeah, I got a task, or I'm gonna go somewhere where I might have a task, boom, that's going in the pocket.
That's it. That's going in the pocket.
Is the back now? I know it's not full bushcraft, but is the back squared? Like, can you fire start with the back, or is it rounded? Rounded on the spine?
No, it's still everything's all rounded.
Yeah.
There's no fire starting. I mean, it's got kind of there's some jimping right there that maybe I could start a fire with.
Yeah, if you wanted to. Yeah.
But it's not going to work great because I've kind of rounded it off so that it's really comfy.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a hidden tang, so there's no like metal touching my hand. It's just really like.
Which is nice. Yeah.
It's just really comfortable and easy to use.
Cool.
I think that this one is CPM 154.
Okay.
Which today maybe not be my first choice, but it's been great.
Yeah, I mean,
it's easy to sharpen, and
it's funny as new steels get introduced, or even as steels come back in vogue, right? That weren't popular, or that hadn't been popular for a while. Like 14C28N, I feel like has had a resurgence, right? And it's just funny to see that.
And it's a good steel,
dude. It's a great steel.
It's a really good steel.
But CPM 154 is also a great steel, right?
Right.
But you know, like bird and shot. I mean, now you'd probably, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. You'd probably go for like a Magna Cut or something, right? If you're thinking water, or maybe not.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I might do Magna Cut. I have my two favorite steels right now.
Yeah.
Are AEBL, which is right there in that family of the 14C.
Yep, with 14C. Yep.
And then Magna Cut.
Yeah.
Those two for me, I either have. They're both good at most things. Mm-hmm. They're both stain resistant.
Yep.
AEBL is like massively tough and super good to sharpen. So if I were to make a bushcraft knife today, I used to use 01. I would use AEBL.
Over 01?
I would use it over 01.
Okay, cool. Yeah. I like that.
Tougher, it holds an edge better, and it's stainless.
Yeah.
I would take it over 01.
Why not?
All day and every day.
That's cool. That's very cool.
But if I had something that I could get to sharpen back here easy, it would be Magna Cut.
Magna Cut. Yeah.
Magna Cut's just a little tricky to sharpen in the field.
It is.
I would think.
No, it definitely is. Yeah. It's definitely more work, and it's one of those things like anything you practice at, you're going to get good at, right? Yeah. But it's definitely more work to sharpen Magna Cut in the field. How is it working it in the shop? Because I've talked, especially when Magna Cut was first, like, you know, everybody was just barely integrating it. I was talking to some of these big operations, right? And they're like, Buck, they were like, Magna Cut's a bit of a challenge for us to like, and they had to figure out their tooling and all of that.
Yeah. It eats things up.
Yeah.
For sure.
That's what I've heard.
Yeah. The helpful thing is, I mean, I'm good friends with the inventor of it and his uncle and his dad.
Perfect.
So I was able to go to him and say, look, I want to hand rub this, but it's impossible. It takes me hours.
Yep.
And they're like, oh, you got to do this and try this different sandpaper. And then
that's awesome.
It was great.
Yeah. That's one thing I love about Laren is he's just such a wealth of knowledge. Oh, yeah. And he's so willing to share it, like going back to the sharing thing, right?
Exactly.
But also like, he's such a wealth of knowledge, not just on the point of like, yeah, sure, he created it, right? But like, that's what the dude does. He works in steel science. Like, so it's also, if you have a question about the steel, he doesn't even have to have done it to know the composition, how it will react. Right. You know what I mean? And then he like Sherlock Holmes it in his head. And then he's like, oh, do this.
Yeah. Yep. Exactly.
So cool.
It's way cool.
Yeah.
He's got a steel, and I've made 2 knives with it now.
Okay.
There's a new steel.
Ooh.
In the Magna Cut family.
Okay. Yeah.
It's pretty awesome. I'm under like
hush,
non-disclosures. I can't say much about it,
Yeah.
but that basically,
That's exciting.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
It's very tough.
I'm gonna be very
tougher
excited
than
to
Magna
see.
Cut.
Ooh, that's fun.
So it's exciting.
Cool.
And it's right in that range. But yeah, he knows his stuff. And it's funny because people ask me like, well, you just say that because it's the latest super steel. I'm like, well, it's not really a super steel.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's not like something like whatever.
Yeah, it's not
you
like
think of as a super steel. Like, you know,
Yeah.
it's just good. It's just an improvement on. Basically, what he does is he'll take something and say, okay, I want to make a stainless N4. Okay, then he does it, and that's his goal.
Yep.
It's not to reinvent the wheel; it's to make the wheel better.
Yep. Put tread on it, and then snow tires, and
Right.
like exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
so
awesome.
It's pretty cool to watch him do it.
Have you so I know his dad, if I remember correctly, his dad is or was a knife maker, and he was based out of. They were in the Vegas area for a while, but I think he's based out of.
He's in a little town called Panaca.
Panaca, there it is. I was like, not Panguitch. Panaca. I actually have family in Panaca.
Yeah.
I've got I've got
Really?
sister-in-law and nephews and nieces.
Then I'm sure he knows them.
Oh, they know each other. They have to, because Panaca's
It's
like
the
50 people live there.
Yeah, seriously. Like one grocery store that is also the gas station. It's like,
Exactly. Yeah, we went down for a high school graduation just recently.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, 6 months ago now, but yeah. Recently. We went down for a high school graduation, but yeah, good old Panaca. So his dad's still in Panaca making knives?
Yeah, his dad, Devin Thomas. He was just inducted in the Knife Maker Hall of Fame.
Oh, that's so cool. I think
one
I
of-
actually heard that, but that's a big deal. Yeah,
He's one of the biggest innovators of Damascus, and specifically stainless Damascus.
That's right. Yeah.
The tough thing about it, I've talked to him, and he might, I don't know, I'm sure he'll share it with everybody.
Yeah.
But he is not a mastersmith. And the reason for that is he specialized in stainless Damascus, and the ABS does not like stainless Damascus.
That's right. Yeah.
And he needed to be able to, at the time, if I remember his story right, he had to actually go there and make his billet there.
Okay.
But they didn't have the right equipment for him to do it there.
Right.
He needed his specialized equipment he had in his shop.
Right.
And because of that reason, they wouldn't let him in.
Oh,
And he's kind of one of those good old boys from Panaca.
Yeah.
And when you insult his integrity, he's done with you.
Exactly.
Right?
I've never met him, but like if I'm picturing the right person from Panaca, whoever that person is, it's like desert cowboy type person.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
No, his nickname is Haas.
Yeah.
Because he looks like Haas.
Didn't even know that. That's perfect. Yeah.
He's got the 10-gallon hat and the whole
everything.
thing.
Oh wow.
Oh,
okay. Yeah.
His twin brother lives about 5 minutes from me here.
Oh, cool.
Darren.
Okay. Yeah.
And so I've gotten to know them and become good friends, and they're just incredible guys. He still makes knives. He makes he does mostly kitchen knives right now.
Okay, that's
Like big nice chef, like they're really nice chef's knives and things.
Yeah.
I know he wants to get into folders, and I've been down to a shop and forged some things, some Damascus with him, and done some stuff. And I'm gonna the next time I go, I need to take him some parts for a lockback.
Cool.
To kind of get him rolling into that.
Yeah. Get him some of the bits and bobs and have him start cracking at it.
Yeah.
That's cool. That's really cool. Yeah. All right. So I mean, second fixed blade.
Second fixed blade for me would be a camp knife.
Okay.
So it's still not a massive knife.
Yeah. No.
But when I was looking for knives, this was kind of the size of knife that I needed. Something that was bigger than a Bushcraft knife. That if I really had to, like, you know, I mean, I don't know. Maybe when we get the camera out, there's like marks on the top from batoning this thing through logs and and doing the whole shot with it. I think that this one is 3V.
Cool.
Maybe.
Yeah. And that's a very classic like Bushcraft, or not classic, but very popular.
Yeah, very popular, very
tough camp Bushcraft
hardware
knife style.
steel.
Yeah.
So that's what I would say. I mean, and that can vary. I want to say that this one's like maybe a 5-inch blade or 5.5-inch blade.
Okay. Yeah.
But you know, maybe even up to like a 7 or 8-inch blade.
Okay. Yeah.
Something in that bigger range. This was the only one that I had on hand.
Yeah.
Just because again, I don't have a lot of fixed blades around, but just that kind of bigger camp knife that can get all the tasks done around. Yeah. Around the
whatever you might find.
Or wherever you're
Would
at.
you use that for something like food prep even?
Yeah, you can use this for like food prep, everything from food prep to chopping kindling to whatever.
Cool. Yeah. There's just something nice about, even if you're car camping, there's just something fun about going car camping and just putting that big knife on your hip and sitting around cab with a big knife.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is.
Sure.
I know what it is. Is like I grew up. That's how we did it. You know what I mean? Like we didn't get to carry, especially living in the city half the year. We didn't get to carry our big knives around in the city because it looks like a weapon, you know?
Right.
And so, it was always like special when we'd go camping and, you know, you pull out the big buck or whatever and you're walking around camp, you're just trying to find stuff to cut with it.
Right.
Like, a big camping knife. I like that. I like that.
Just something big. I mean, that blade range can range. I've had ones that I want to say I've had like an 8 or 9-inch blade.
Cool.
So I could literally just start chopping logs.
Yeah, that's a chopper. Yeah.
It's a total chopper.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that's, you know, if you had those two with you, you could accomplish everything.
Cool.
Something small for delicate work. I mean, I could probably got a fish with this. It might be a little bit big, but
a little bit of work, but I'm sure you could. Yeah.
But ideally, probably, you know, if I had one that size of the other one,
Yeah.
I'd go a little bit bigger on this one for the camp knife. Have the two.
Gotcha.
I mean, I've even made sheaths that are like piggyback sheaths where they've got the small one on the front and the big, chopper camp knife on the bottom. And
Yep. I wish there were more of those types of sheaths, to be honest.
Yeah.
Like, I love the idea of like, it's just that, like, I think it's just that guy thing of like specializing in tools. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Where it's like, oh yeah, like this is my knife that does this thing, and my other knife that's on my other knife does this thing. It's so silly, but like
I have to wear like 3 belts to hold my pants up when I have this on my hip. But hey,
yeah, I got suspenders and a belt on for this one knife sheath, but like, man, I got it. Like, I don't know, there's something about it.
That just gave me a flashback I had years ago before, I think it was before I even made knives. It was back when I was collecting bussy knives.
Yeah.
And I made one of those piggyback sheaths.
Okay, yeah.
Because
for bussy knives?
Yeah, for a bussy knife. And it was before I was making knives. I did a lot of leather work, and I really enjoyed it. I loved it.
Yeah.
And I felt like I could do some. I mean, all these are my work from years ago.
Oh, awesome.
I felt like I could do something good with it, so I made this one, and I had my wife take pictures. And it was back at the time. Now, don't judge me. It was back when it was like the kind of like almost girly jeans with like all the embroidering on the pockets. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
And I posted that picture. I still have a buddy of mine that lives up in, I think he's still up in Seattle somewhere in that area.
Yeah.
That every time he just sees it, he just makes fun of me. Asks me if I still have those jeans. I'm like, dude, that was just a phase of life, man.
Yep. We all got a phase.
But
I love that yours got immortalized though.
Oh, it got immortalized.
We'd always call those like cool guy jeans.
That was like the cool guy jeans.
We'd always call them cool guy jeans.
Yeah. He created this nickname for me because of those. He'd call me Handsome Rob. I'm like, dude, my middle name is Robert. I don't know how he knew that.
Oh, that's hilarious.
I'm like, where did this come
He's
from?
like digging up stuff you didn't even know you knew to make fun of you with.
He's like making fun of me on another level. I was like, dude, I can't even keep up.
That's awesome.
But yeah, that was I did make a piggyback sheath. And it was cool, but maybe not so practical.
Yeah, that's fair.
It was fun.
Yeah, that's fair. I think the first place that I saw like a real application for that where it made sense was actually with, I just blanked on the knife name. It's like the most common fixed blade for bushcrafting. They cost no money. They're a Nordic company.
Oh, I know who you're talking about too. Now I'm blanking it too. It's the old man sinking in on me. I can picture the knife in my head. Oh,
I can't believe plastic sheath, injection molded handle.
Yeah, I can picture it in my head too.
How am I not remembering the name right now?
Oh, you're gonna have to edit this and then like dub in. I'll say the name of it. It's and then just like put the words in my mouth so I look like I'm smarter than I really am.
That's perfect. I have no idea. I mean, I have been on the road a lot, and I'm a bit tired, but I literally am completely blanking on that name right now.
I know exactly what one you're talking about too.
Those knives.
Like a Scandi grind on it. It's like, yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about.
With Ricky, just try to edit this in a way that we don't look like total idiots, right?
No, I don't think I will.
So after struggling for a while to remember Mora knives, we can get back on track, which is piggyback sheaths. That was one of the first places that I saw a practical application of piggyback sheaths because they make so many different knives, and I can't remember exactly what the application was, but it was something along the lines of it had to do with like the classical definition of a journeyman, somebody who learns as an apprentice and then actually travels around a country and learns from the other masters in his area. Right. And it was a way that they would stack knives. And I guess that at least in certain Nordic countries, like carpenters and stuff will still they'll still stack knives. And so the Mora sheath, there's a way that you can like connect it to the other sheaths, I guess.
Interesting.
So you can stack like 2 or 3 depending on the work that you're doing.
Oh, that's cool.
But anyways, yeah, just kind of a fun aside from piggyback sheaths that we got completely lost in the sauce on the name of.
Way in the weeds on that one.
It was pretty good. I think what I really like about those two choices is just how like stone cold practical. Like that's what I really love about those choices. You're just and also the way that you looked at the question. You looked at the question from a standpoint of like, okay, in my life, what would I use a fixed blade for? Well, I use a fixed blade when I go fishing. I use a fixed blade when I go camping, right? That's about the only time I use it.
Yeah. I was thinking about one camp knife. So I've had the chance to do the judging of like custom and production knives at a lot of the shows.
Yeah.
And I can't remember. I want to say it was either Blade Texas last year or maybe, I think it was Blade Texas last year that Giant Mouse actually submitted a fixed blade.
Oh, cool. Okay.
And I loved it.
Yeah.
And I usually will, I try to be really subjective because I'll find ones that that I like, that appeal to me, and I try not to say, well, that's just my taste.
Right.
But they did this fixed blade, and I felt like it should have won Best in Show.
Wow. Okay.
For me, the design, the aesthetic, everything was awesome.
Yeah.
And it to me screamed camp knife. That was
Cool.
the camp knife. It was amazing.
That's awesome.
It was really cool.
And what was it? Was it from a designer standpoint that you felt like you gravitated to it, or was it just from like that? Because we all have that thing where we see a knife and it just immediately talks to us, right? I mean, right? I'm sure that a lot of the people that you deal with that are buying your knives, it's this emotional connection they have with it as well.
Yeah.
So with the Giant Mouse, was it? Where do you think you were falling in on it?
It's an interesting perspective because in that vein of thought, like a lot of people gravitate to a knife and they don't understand why.
Right.
And in my opinion, what makes a successful designer and knife maker is someone that understands why and can create that.
Agreed. 100%.
And so for me, that's a lot of where the artistic background, I mean, years and years of doing art and being an artist and all that stuff comes into play.
Yeah.
Because I understand why, and I know what I want to do and what type of emotion I want to elicit when I create something. And for me, it was almost like this moment of mutual respect. I mean, one of the first knives that I had as a kid was a rock lobster.
Cool.
From Ansel.
Yep.
Right?
That was one of your first knives as a kid?
That was not as a kid, like as a young man.
Oh,
that was like,
okay, yeah.
That was like, as I started collecting knives,
Right.
I say kid because I'm starting to feel, I mean, dude, look at all this gray hair.
Dude, I got the gray coming in too, man.
But as a young man starting to really collect knives, that was like one of the first ones because I just loved it. And so like seeing that and just knowing the guys behind it, it was like this moment of respect to say, you created something that's totally functional, like perfectly functional and subtly elegant all at the same time. And you knew what you're doing and you did it on purpose.
Yeah.
And respect for that. Like
love
props to that.
Yeah.
And for me, that's why, as we were talking about like camp knives, I thought of that knife because in that moment, that embodied a camp knife to me. And in that sense, coming from a Scandinavian, from two Scandinavians, right?
Right. Yeah.
Like two guys where bushcraft kind of originated.
Yeah. At least like the way we think about it. Right?
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
And it just, so I mean, if you want to, I don't know if you can still get them now. I can't even remember the name of the knife. I'm sure you can find it. It won the award. It won one of the awards, and I tried to push to have it be Best in Show.
Cool. Because of how much you could appreciate what it was.
Of how much I could appreciate what it was.
That's
awesome.
Pretty
incredible.
Yeah. Well, if you haven't seen it already, guys, you are seeing it now. The magic of editing.
That's right.
Or we won't be able to find it, and then Ricky will just put a thing that says, nope.
Yeah.
The future will tell.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure you'll find it. It won an award, so it's got to be documented somewhere.
It was a knife that was created when the internet existed, so we could probably be able to find it pretty easy.
Find that.
I love that. I mean, back just really quick to this the idea of being an artist, because that was part of your background that I actually didn't know about until just now, like sitting down talking with you, right? Yeah. That's one reason that like this is fun for me on a lot of levels, because there are people that I have like really deep relationships with. There are people that I kind of know in passing. Me and you, I think, kind of fall in the middle, right? Like we've hung out, we've talked a bit here and there. We've done a little bit of video work together in the past, right? Right. And but I just love to learn more about people, right? And so that's like a selfish thing for why I'm doing these as well.
Right.
It's just fun to sit down and have a real conversation, you know? And so like the art background is something that I don't think that I was. I mean, if I did know, I've forgotten that I wasn't tuned into. So. I mean, the way that you said it just now is what sparked it in my head is, I mean, what were you drawing? Like, I
drew everything.
Just everything.
You
just like, lifelike stuff, cartoon stuff, like just everything. Or
I mean, I was more of a realistic artist, like more lifelike stuff.
Yeah.
You know, I would do impressionist takes on things. I was never like a cartoonist, like illustrator type person.
Right. Yeah.
I could kind of pull it off a little bit, but everybody's got their own flair of things.
Yeah.
But honestly, it was something from when I was born. Cool. I have a picture that my grandma made a journal for me when I was a little kid. Gave it to me when I was 8, and she would just put things that I would do or like give her or whatever.
Yeah.
And I can still remember this time laying on her kitchen floor in her little house, and she was doing something at the kitchen table, and the sun was shining through the window, and it spoke something to me, this artistic mind of,
Right.
and I drew it.
Cool.
And if you saw that picture, you wouldn't say that a 4-year-old drew that.
Right.
You'd say like a 15-year-old drew it.
Cool.
And it was just like, it was something that I was given before I was born. It was like a gift from God. It really was.
That's awesome.
And being able to put all these pieces together, for me, my life has been a journey.
Yeah.
And I was given special talents and abilities. And for some reason, they've all culminated into doing this.
Yeah.
It's not because I'm such a great guy and I worked so hard, I was able to do it. You know, when I started being a knife maker, it's almost like I fought it.
Yeah.
Like someone up above was like, you need to do this. And I'm like, no, I want to build houses. I can make a lot of money. I can be really successful. He's like, no, you're not. And I fought it for years and years. I mean, years.
Yep.
Fighting this until finally my wife's like, hey, you ever thought about doing this full time? I'm like, oh, maybe I should listen to my wife.
Right.
But it's like, I don't know, just being an artist is something I was born with. It wasn't something that I worked on and became.
That's cool.
And so it's just, you know, I honed skills as I went to classes and learned
Of
things
course.
about the golden rule
Yeah.
and how to put colors together and all these rules of art and understanding it better. But yeah, it's something that just, I love.
That's
I love
amazing.
it.
Yeah. Well, and I mean, what a wonderful thing that you were able to culminate into, like, take that and take
Yeah.
other experiences and then culminate into something that is fulfilling for you,
Yeah.
right? And we were talking about this before we started shooting, right? And putting something good in the world, right?
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
I think we were talking about this specifically, and you mentioned you felt the same. Like there was a point in my like journey of telling stories on YouTube where I was like, you know, just talking about knives. Like, does this matter? There's a lot of things going on in the world. Like, how can I make a difference, right? And then I hear back from like you guys out there and how much it means to people, or how much like something to me that maybe I didn't see the full meaning in, like affects somebody else, right? As for the positive, right?
Right.
And you had mentioned the same with the knives. Is even after you went full time, you were like, I'm just making knives, right?
Yeah.
And then, but then you were able to get this bigger perspective of like, oh wait, no, it's like so much more than that, right?
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
personal fulfillment is super important, right?
Right.
But also like not being selfish is also, in my opinion, I think is also
Yeah.
very important. Be a complete human, right?
Yes.
And so for you to be able to wrap all that into what you're doing currently, like that's gotta feel good,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
It's pretty amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, I question it a lot. Like I've gone through stages as I've been a knife maker and just said to myself, okay, if I'm trying to be like a good Christian person, like, you know, trying to follow and do what's right, why am I creating something that's like something in excess?
Right.
Something that people don't really need. Does someone
Yeah.
need a $2,000 knife? Probably
Right.
not.
Yeah. Well, and there's enough knives in the
you know,
world anyways.
Yeah, there's lots of knives out there. So I started feeling bad. Like, how can I say that I was given special opportunities to do this for a living, and I'm creating something that's kind of like a thing of the world?
Yeah, it's
You know what I
extra.
mean? It's like an extra.
Yep.
And then I realized that number one, there's more to it than just that,
Yeah.
because it starts moving into a world of art.
Yep.
And I think that everywhere, even after this life is over, there's going to be an appreciation for art, for seeing things that are created by man that are beautiful.
Yeah.
And I think that we'll always be able to appreciate that. But I also realized, in this, I have a platform, I have an opportunity. You know, whether it's being able to do something for a charity or just responding to someone that has a question.
Yep.
Or, you know, in all honesty, like even sometimes when people are mean, because, you know, the reality is there are a lot of people that reach back out. They probably have the same thing.
Yeah.
That come at you that are just there to say something mean to you.
The internet can be a harsh place sometimes.
And, you know, I will admit sometimes I've not responded in the best way.
Right.
But
It's a challenge.
it's a challenge sometimes. But I've tried as much as I can to respond in a good way.
Yeah.
And there have been times when I have responded in that right way that it's had an effect on someone and they've changed.
Yeah.
And they reached out to me and they've become friends. And
That's
I'll talk
awesome.
to them regularly.
That's
and
awesome.
it's, you know, I realize that in that sense, in just the little way that I can in my little corner of the world in the shop, I can make the world a little bit better place.
I love that. Yeah. And I think that's a pressure that a lot of us can feel, right? Is that
Right.
whether it comes from like a religious point, right? which is, I think we were talking earlier, it's kind of where ours stems from, or whether it just comes from being in the world and wanting to do good, right? Like religious or not religious, right?
Right.
And I think that that's something that we have to realize is that if we're to the best ability that we can, right? Because I don't know if you've been in these situations, but like I've lived a lot of my life where I've had to live paycheck to paycheck. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like, it's like, I've got to provide and I've got to do the things I've got to do to take care of the people in my life that I need to, right? But to be able to find moments or to be able to find ways, right, to inject as much of who you really are into something, right? That can be pouring concrete, right? Like to inject yourself into that, right? I think that it goes back to that creative process that's so important we were talking about, right? And you can take those little places in the world that you exist and you can do something good there, right? You don't need to be a politician, and in fact, that's probably the wrong direction to go, right? But like, you don't need to be somebody that has this big name or a big platform necessarily, right? It's about working where you are, right? And there's a saying that we both know pretty well, but like standing where you lift, right? How do you lift a heavy piano, right? You get 10 guys all around the piano, everybody stands where they lift, and now the piano's light, right? And if we're all working on standing where we lift to just do something a little better or to be a little kinder, I'm with you 100%. I think so. that effect has so much more power than we realize it does.
We look to all these people that are our leaders or our betters to be the ones that provide us with all the solutions and answers. And that's not the case.
No, not at all.
It's everyday interactions with the people around you in scenarios that are seemingly insignificant that really matter the most.
Exactly. There's a Gandhi quote that might be overplayed. I'm not sure. It depends on what your algorithms are on the internet. But I've always enjoyed it. And that's be the change you want to see. You know what I mean? And I think that that's such a great... And then he has another quote that I love a lot. Because I grew up in kind of a contentious background. Which is, if the whole world believes in an eye for an eye, the whole world goes blind. And you put those two together and I'm like, you got there's a pretty good line to walk. You know?
I used to be a little bit more that way, eye for an eye. And as I've grown and changed, I'm kind of more the opposite.
Exactly.
Where I will forgive as often as I have to.
It's honestly like, talking about some grays, right? I think, if you're trying, I think that with age comes patience. And with patience comes some clarity sometimes. Some of that hot blood goes down a little bit,
I mean, you do encounter those people that aren't trying at all.
Of course.
And that gets frustrating, for sure.
Exactly. The world's not a perfect place.
But a friend of mine would always say, he'd say, consider the source. Meaning, look at the person you're dealing with, try and figure out what they've dealt with, what their background is, what their experiences are, and try and relate. Because, they may be treating you that way for various reasons, trying to figure it out. It may not be because they're a bad person. They just don't know.
I mean, or
they're dealing with something far more than you can imagine.
And that's it, right? At the end of the day, like we're all trying to figure it out. Like that's all it is. But if we're all trying to do a little bit, right? If we're all trying to add a little bit of that spark, a little bit of that creativity, a little bit of that kindness, the mass effect of that is huge.
And I think that at the end of the day, that's what I've gotten out of this.
Cool.
It's been good for me, for my creative abilities to be able to create, use my artistic skills and design something that I like.
A place that helps take care of your family.
It's been good because it takes care of the bills. But at the end of the day, I think the most important part is that.
Cool.
Being a better influence and having a positive effect on what part of the world I can affect. Is most important.
I love that. And I think that full circle of realizing, like you don't have to be, have the biggest Instagram account or have the most important looking work, to be able to do that thing, I love that. Dude, that's perfect. That's absolutely perfect. I think that's a perfect place for us to end the thing too.
Sounds good. That works.
I don't think it's going to get better than that, guys. Well, thank you so much for your time.
Thanks for coming, man.
On all of these, Ben kicked this off, and his I believe it was his sister had a suggestion or maybe it was his wife. I can't remember who. Anyways, somebody else had a suggestion when they heard about the idea, and they're like, "This should be called 5 Knives, Burgers, and Fries." So for
I think I remember hearing that.
Yeah. So for the other ones at the end, we went and grabbed a burger, but you have a very important. Speaking of family, you have a very important game you've got to be here tonight. So I might bring you guys along if the place is still open when I go through, because I've got more miles put down. I'll show you guys one of my favorite burgers in Utah. If not, Thank you for following along. And dude, thank you so much for being here.
Yeah. Thanks
and
for coming.
we'll catch you guys on the next one.